guys and girls, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. As some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you in the Let's Play episode of Temptation's Ballad. So, y'all, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Alright. Keep this candle alight through a winter storm for one whole night, and the church will deem me strong enough to nurture into the next chosen. Fail, and the power will pass on to someone more worthy than I. Sid felt his stomach drop. What? They can't put that kind of pressure on a child? It is prophesied that the world would succumb to great tragedy should the Creator's chosen fail their duty. Is the happiness of one child truly so high a price? A knight's duty is to her people. I was willing to do what must be done. Sid stared at the tiny candle in her hands with growing dread. So you passed the test, then? The church agreed to keep working with you. Artemy rolled the candle in her hands thoughtfully. Can you keep a secret, Sir Sid? What? Wait, you don't mean... She laughed bitterly. I failed. The candle went out halfway through the night. I was left to trod through a blizzard for the rest of my trial. I think at some point I simply gave up and waited for the frigid cold to take me. How in the world did you survive? A bittersweet smile spread across her face as she rubbed a gentle thumb over the worn wick of the candle. A very kind old man said he would miss me if I were gone. And I suppose I couldn't bear the thought of making him sad. So I fought to stay, just a little longer. Artemy gently hid the candle back in her pocket. From that day forward, I held a deep anger within me. Anger towards myself for being unable to fulfill my duty, for always disappointing my loved ones. This wrath became the foundation for my magic. It was the fuel for my first spell and all that came after. Small sparks of electricity pulsed from her hand. You know, the Creator's chosen is usually a light domain cleric. We should be wielding the warm, comforting flames of the Creator to spread her love to all who bask in her light. A cold chuckle escaped Artemy's throat. My magic was too volatile, too furious. I ended up becoming a Tempest domain cleric, a seemingly impossible feat for someone who worships the same deity. I still can't really light candles, only zap them aflame with lightning. Another disappointment added to Her Excellency's long list, I'm sure. While wrath isn't the healthiest foundation for one's strength, it has kept me going at the very least. She turned towards Sid with a genuinely appreciative smile. I do not know what the cure for your feelings of jealousy may be, but perhaps you should look inward for a foundation of strength as well. Hopefully one that is much better than mine. You know, I concur with what Cole said to you earlier. I also enjoy having you around, and my life is better for having known you. At the end of the day, you are my friend as well. Please remember that, regardless of what doubts you may have. Sid looked up at Artemy. Her patient smile felt warm. Sid felt undeserving, but he swallowed the bitter thought back down. Thanks! A loud sniffle suddenly broke them out of their thoughts. The two glanced around to see Agatha blowing her nose on a tissue while wiping away a tear. Aw, you kids are too sweet. What a heartwarming display of friendship. This is better than the theater troupe's last big production. Oh, sorry, but can you cast Deafen on yourself again? Agatha scowled indignantly. What? Fine. Kids these days, always so afraid to show some emotion for once. As the two hyenas stood off at the center of the arena, the crowd looked on with excitement. Sid peered at Cole's small frame in the distance anxiously. Was he going to reveal his spellcasting ability to this crowd? I'm sure he casted Prestidigitation earlier to make his voice loud, but that could be explained away with a few arcane crystals. Combat magic, on the other hand, there was just no hiding it. What's the matter, little fraud? It's not too late to surrender before you get hurt. Oh, I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling just fine and groovy. What, you afraid of losing to a commoner? Calder let out an amused scoff. The sun shall turn cold before I, an esteemed noble heir, lose to the likes of you. I will take pleasure in forcing your hand as a mage. It matters not what reasons you have for hiding your abilities. I will drag it into the light for all to see. Cole felt a familiar slithering sensation over his shoulder as Malice poked his head out. Puny mortal, are you certain you can win? Please remain vigilant. If you get clobbered by this man, I will feel all the blows as well. I could probably take this guy. Wizard-class mages have strong magic, but physically they're as resilient as wet paper. 1 second, y'all. One good hit and I can break whatever concentration he needs for spellcasting. Should you get in trouble, you should consider my proposal. A pact with a demon such as I would grant you more than enough power to crush this despicable man. I can feel it. The temptation to humiliate him is bubbling up inside you. Cole let out a low laugh. Your marketing skills are getting better, I can give you that. I can take this foppish asshole on my own, though, thanks. In the tower above them, the festival announcer cleared his throat loudly. Combatants, are you prepared? Now, may the duel commence. Oh, that's cool. Calder immediately stepped forward, arms outstretched. Fire erupted from his palms in a violent, swirling mass as the hyena cackled gleefully. Behold my true might! This is the arcane prowess House O'Shaughnessy has at its disposal. Still think you can take on the likes of me, little fraud? Ha! Well, fuck. Oh, boo-hoo! The wizard casts fireball. How original. Huh! Petty insults will not save you from my flames. Malice poked his head out of Cole's pocket with a squint. Hey, puny mortal, my offer is still open. Shh! Shut up, I got this. He's gonna play on his lute. He's gonna play on his lute. Cole raised his lute over his head and began strumming it wildly. The crowd leaned forward, craning their heads for any sign of magic, but there was nothing save for the out-of-tune twangs of his lute. What is this nonsense supposed to be? You mean you can't sense it? Thought your house was supposed to be arcane experts. Look closer. Calder squinted. He's gonna whack him with it. He's just gonna whack him with it. What are you talking about? There's not an ounce of magic anywhere near... Smack the fuck out of him. A sharp smack echoed through the arena. As Calder dropped to the floor like a sack of potatoes, Cole immediately leapt forward with his lute raised. The crowd watched with a mixture of horror and fascination as Cole proceeded to clobber the utter shit out of him on the arena floor. You can't concentrate on your fancy spells now, can you? Fucking wizards, always talking shit when all they do is bury their faces in books all damn day. This ain't my first time in a street fight. Calder braced his arms over his head, sputtering furiously in panic. Wait! Get off of me, you brute! This isn't how this duel was supposed to go! I said nothing about a strictly magic duel when I challenged you, now did I? Get fucked, asshole! Ah! An announcer! Surely this is against the rules somewhere! The festival announcer scratched his head as the scene unfolded before him. Excuse me. I suppose I should break up this fight now? No. Give them a few more minutes. This Calder might still turn things around. The announcer looked at her incredulously. Ma'am, the guy's getting his ass beaten into the dirt. He's literally crying out for the duel to end. Despite her veiled face, the announcer could swear that Lady Osmia was smirking wildly as she watched the fight below. Nay, we must respect these fighters in the competitive spirit of the festival. Give them a few more minutes. I yield! I yield! Ow! Please call an end to this outrage! Oof! What? I can't hear you from down there. Please, speak up. I heard him loud and clear. Perhaps I should... No. The smacking and screaming went on for a little while longer. In the end, Sid started to feel bad for the guy and ran into the field with Artemy following close behind to break up the fight. Hey, boss, I think he gets the point. Maybe ease up for a bit? No, keep it up. You've done well, Cole. Sir Merrill would be so proud if he were here to witness your deeds. But he's not here right now, so ease up, alright? Second, y'all. Cole let out a huff and finally holstered his lute. Fine. My arms are getting tired anyway. You didn't have to go through all this trouble for me. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. But next time, you can save me the trouble and clobber the guy yourself. Don't worry, I'll make Hamish pay for whatever assault charges get thrown at you. Stand up for yourself, dude. Crawling back on his feet and nursing his bruised head, Calder jabbed an accusing finger at their group. I shan't forget this humiliation, Calder Bonebreaker. One day I vow to pay back your brutish deeds tenfold. The crowd around them let out a bellowing wave of laughter, followed by jeering boos and snickers. Calder's face flushed red with embarrassment and shame. Well, and that is how you make a rival. He hastily ran off the field without another word. Finally, the festival announcer's voice rang through the arena once more. And that concludes our impromptu and comedic duel. Thank you, Sirs Calder and Calder, for your excellent performance. Now allow us to proceed back on schedule. Up next is the jousting tournament. May the participants please make their way into the ring. Our first competitors will be... There was a brief rustle of parchment as the announcer flipped through his lists. Oh. Well, this is... Our first competitors will be the esteemed Artemy Johanna Gautier versus Calder O'Shaughnessy. What? The injured hyena had barely made it back to his seat before jerking his head up in shock. From across the field, Artemy shot him a predatory smile. My, how fortuitous. Kick his ass for me, will you? It will be my pleasure. Cole grinned and raised his hand for a fist bump. Artemy stared at it for several long moments before turkeying it with a frown. Is this the correct response? I am unfamiliar with this gesture. Dude, it's a fist bump. You're supposed to bump fists to psych yourself up. Ah, I see. This is a high five, but with the promise of violence. I will not let you down, Cole. And Sir Sid, rest assured that Calder O'Shaughnessy will be thoroughly punished for his deeds. Sid watched his two gleeful friends with a concerned look. You guys are a little scary sometimes. We are defending your honor, as friends should. Anyways, I must be off to prepare for my joust. Wish me luck. Well, we better get back to our seats before someone takes them. You coming, boss? Cole was staring out into the sea of people in the viewing booths with an apprehensive expression. Oh, sorry, I think it's actually time for me to go. Sid blinked in surprise. Go where? The tournament is about to start. Aren't you going to stay and watch? Cole shook his head firmly. Afraid I can't. There's something important I have to do before the brawl begins. Sid's shoulders slumped. So you won't be watching me fight? Unfortunately, sorry I won't get to watch you kick ass out there. I know you'll do great though. A big guy like you with Clyde's masterwork weapon? I doubt anyone will stand a chance against you. If you say so. Oh, what's he gonna do? Sid yelped as Cole suddenly leaned forward and planted a firm kiss on his cheek. A warm wave of calm washed over him as Cole's bardic inspiration filled his body with arcane strength. It felt like a firm, loving hug in a spell form. Keep your chin up, alright? You're my lackey. Go show people what it means to mess with our little adventuring party. Despite the dreadful lull that weighed over Sid's shoulders, the edge of his lips twitched into a small smile. I'll do my best. It's the least I can do. Good luck on whatever you're off to work on, boss. Cole shrugged. No rest for the wicked. I'll see you after the tournament ends, buddy. Alright, let's get back on track. The first round of the Firefly Festival Jousting Tournament is about to begin. Are our honorable participants ready? The crowd's cheers shook the stadium as everyone looked on in anticipation. Artemy shuffled in place and gripped her jousting lance tightly. On the other side of the field, Calder O'Shaughnessy rode into position on top of a handsomely pampered feral horse. The steed looked in excellent health and was clearly expensively cared for. Typical of one might expect from a noble. Despite his bruised face and slightly bleeding nose, Calder managed to look down on Artemy with an air of superiority. Like a deal? Alright, last 3.5 minutes, let's make it count. What is the matter, my dear chosen one? It appears you are not in possession of a steed. How do you expect to joust without one? What, do you intend to run at me like some beast of burden? If you are in need of a horse, just ask. I am sure the generosity of House O'Shaughnessy will be happy to accommodate you. Artemy adjusted the handle of her lance coldly. I respectfully decline. Need I remind you that I am a paladin? Perhaps it is best that you worry after yourself, as you always do. Calder scoffed and steered his feral horse into position. Suit yourself. I look forward to the praise grandfather will grant me once I best the creator's chosen in a joust. Dude, she's a fucking paladin. She's going to lay your ass out. Jesus. Probably heal you afterwards. Artemy silently made a mental note to apologize to Cole for any grief she had given him for his vices. She had no idea that there existed someone far worse. Cole appeared like an absolute paragon in comparison. She was going to take great pleasure in knocking Calder off his high horse. Artemy turned towards Sid's direction with her lance held high. I dedicate this match to my dear friend, Sid Shrikewood. May this set an example to all who dare insult my companion in arms. From the viewing booth, Sid fidgeted nervously as he watched the very horseless knight proclaim loudly to the crowd. Thanks, Artie, but maybe you should count our chickens before they hatch. The shrill voice of the festival announcer suddenly pierced the stadium air once more. Get in position! Now, may the joust begin! Calder's horse immediately dashed forward and made a mad gallop towards Artemy, lance pointing forward. Oh yeah, she's gonna fuck you up. Artemy was unfazed. The crowds watched in utter confusion as she crouched down on the grass like a predator posed to strike. What in the world are you doing? Oh, well, whatever, I suppose. I will be happy to take this easy win. Artemy smirked. Suddenly she launched herself forward, arms outstretched. Lightning danced from the palm of her hand like long, furious rains. Oh. Oh, shit, lightning horse. Fuck. Call steed. The metallic smell of ozone filled the air. A brilliant blaze of lightning hurt to look at as Artemy and her steed rushed forward, lance at the ready. Grass singed and burned below them. Showers of sparks glinted off her armor. She flew towards Calder at light speed. Yep. Oh yeah, he's fucked. Wait! I yield! I yield! What? I can't hear you. It's too bright in here. What does being bright have to do with hearing someone? Moments before the two horses collided, the arena was consumed in a burst of blinding celestial light. Everyone in the audience shielded their eyes. No one could see what was happening. After a beat, the light slowly faded away to reveal what remained of the joust. Calder was curled up in a fetal position on the grass, his horse fleeing the scene in a terrified sprint. Artemy's celestial steed had disappeared as well. She stood over Calder's prone body, gingerly poking him with her lance like one might poke roadkill to test if it was still alive. Come on, stop overreacting. It wasn't that bad. I almost died! Surely this has to be against the rules, and this was an attempted murder! You leapt off your horse and began sobbing on the ground before I could even reach you. Where's your competitive spirit? I came here to joust in a tournament, not to babysit frightened children. Come, get back on your steed. We're doing this again. The festival announcer's bewildered voice sounded across the arena. Well, in accordance with the rules. With the rules, Sir Calder had proclaimed his surrender after yielding to you. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. That's really fun to see Calder O'Shaughnessy get utterly fucking humiliated for the little shithead that he is. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for watching. I love you all, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!